Sony announced today, and in a one of the most easy uses of "that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him" type play. Sony announced today that they are increasing the price of the PlayStation 5 in select markets due to, and I quote, global economic environment. The regions that are affected by this price increase are Europe, the UK, Japan, China, Australia, Mexico, and Canada, which reads like a list that is basically every region except for the United States of America. For reasons I don't know. I can't tell you. However, I think this is, to my recollection anyway, the first time that I'm aware of that a console manufacturer has increased the cost of their console in a console lifecycle without any improvements or it being like a step 2, like a PS5 Pro or some other shit. Or like a PS5, but it's a refresh with a 2 terabyte hard drive, or some other shit like that. This is just a dead ass, all versions increase of the cost of those consoles. Yes, it's still a little bit difficult to get your hands on a PS5 in places. Not nearly as hard as it was before. I mean, before, if you didn't have like your alerts on your phone and got there in like 3 fucking seconds to be buying the shit, it was too late. Like, it's not that bad now, but it is still a little bit challenging in some places. But all the same, this is the first time I can think of. The only thing I can think of is that I also recently, although it's not a console manufacturer specifically, and we talked about it, Facebook's what was it, Oculus increased their price of their headset with no changes by $100, which is a lot more than the PlayStation increase, I will add. $100 is a fucking Chad move on an increase. That's fucking enormous. But I don't know. I can't remember what exactly the price increase is for the PlayStation 5. But whatever it is, it's too much. Because normally console manufacturers eat the cost on consoles to sell more software. It's the entire purpose of getting a console out there. Especially when you're Sony and you're now selling your games at $70 a pop. So now you're running your margins up even higher. And this is all happening, by the way, while some crazy motherfucker in Europe is trying to start a class action lawsuit to sue Sony for $4 or $5 billion because they are because of their manipulation of their online specific sale of their games, where like Xbox and Nintendo, they sell keys to third party sellers. Sony keeps it all internal and then sells the games for much higher prices. And then also within the Europe, especially places like the UK, they're paying, if you price adjust it for the US dollar to UK, they're paying like way more fucking money for a copy of a game. And so they're going down that road. I'm guessing they probably could have targeted any number of companies for this, but they're going after Sony for it. So it's just an unfortunate timing to be like, hey, we're also going to increase the cost of all these consoles. Get fucked. I think my favorite tweet on this came from the games analyst Ahmed. What's his last name? Oh my goodness, it's escaping me right now. But he said, great news. Sony is looking to save me lots of money this year, as instead of buying a PlayStation, I'm just not going to buy one at all. Because it was already more expensive than the Series X. By like $30 or some shit, I think. And now it will be even more expensive. And you're up against Game Pass at the same time. That's a steep hill. Like how good does God of War have to be to circumvent like $100 price difference per console, plus not having something like Game Pass available? That game better be fucking good. Like, really fucking good. Especially when you have games like Death Stranding that used to be a PlayStation exclusive, now on the PC, and also this week announced, or not this week, but it came out this week on Game Pass for PC. Death Stranding now as of the 23rd. And so Sony is, they're banking an awful lot on that whole, we've got the games. What do you think, Jeff? Do they have the games? Do the games stack up to be continuing to run the prices up through the roof on everything while their competitors are not running the prices up on everything? Or Or is this a time will tell situation?
They're going to be fine, man. It's Sony.
I'm not saying they're going to go under or anything crazy like that.
No.
It's just,
I mean, there's a massive demand for their console, and you want a PS5, you go to Walmart right now, you can't buy one. So you go on Amazon, you can't buy one. So supply and demand, they're raising the price. They're saying, why in the fuck are scalpers making hundreds of dollars profit? People are paying for it left and right. Let's jack ours up. And you know why else I think they're doing this? I think this is the real plan. Is I think they're getting ready to announce another version of PS5 that's going to be bigger and better, and it's going to be more expensive. And this is their way of narrowing the gap.
This is their
so
upsell.
They're going to have this. This is going to have this price is going to be the way it is for the next year and a half. Then they're going to announce the PS5 whatever, and it's going to be $50, $100 more. But they've already increased it by $100 already. So now you're thinking, okay, it's not actually just $100 more. It's really $200 more. And now they're just reeling you in. This is the long con, man. And people are going to pay it.
The long con.
They're going to pay it. And you know what? Sony fans are so diehard, and they're gonna buy it, that they know. I mean, look at the value that Xbox has now. People are still buying PS5 like crazy. It's outselling Xbox. It's you can't buy the damn thing anywhere. And if that doesn't go to show, they don't need the games. It's like at this point, like I'm convinced they don't need. But that kind of stuff
doesn't last. But that doesn't last forever, though. It happened in the PS3 era where they fucking shot themselves in the foot.
I agree. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see where Sony will be in another 2 to 3 years. The way Xbox is going right now, they're gaining some serious ground. And Xbox now, they're loving this. I mean, they can even poke fun and say, guys, not only do we have value, we're way cheaper.
Well, here's an interesting barometer as far as like the Sony fans go. So there doesn't exist bigger Sony fans than in Japan specifically. Especially historically, trying to get the Xbox to sell in Japan has been basically like trying to sell condoms to a nun. The shit just doesn't fucking happen. And so in Japan, apparently the reaction to this this change in price has been really not fucking good thus far. And so we'll see if the discourse online translates into fewer sales that we will see when they release the numbers here coming up, and if things like the Series X or the Series S, I should say, which we talked about on the podcast a couple probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago now, where the Series S in Japan started selling really well and outsold the other consoles in Japan. If this gives more traction to the Series S in Japan and closes the gap further, that will be very interesting to see where that goes. But yeah, the first time I can think of that without an improvement, they're just like, fuck it, raise the price of the console. That's definitely a bold move, but we'll see what happens when that all comes to pass in another. Oh, let's say we'll give her a few months and see what happens during the Christmas season. And I don't disagree. Well, I don't mean in terms of, I don't think this is going to I don't think a $30 or $40 price hike is going to stop people from buying the console to the point where it's available freely on shelves. But you got to imagine somewhere it's going to do something.
What exactly is the price hike?
I had the list of numbers on my phone, but I didn't include them because I didn't want to sit here and just prattle off a per region difference.
You don't need to. Just a rough.
I can't. I want to say it's 30 to 50 somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, 30, 50. It's somewhere around the cost of a game, which is usually what they're shooting for when they price a console, especially against a competitor. It's, can I buy that console plus a game, or can I not buy that console plus a game?